Hello, welcome to Chris Collects, and this is another edition of 4K Blu-ray reviews. Today, we're going to take a look at the final film in the Dark Knight trilogy, The Dark Knight Rises. But before we do, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon to get notified of all future videos. And without further ado, let's get into the review. So, Dark Knight Rises, the anticipated follow-up to probably one of the best films ever made, The Dark Knight. This came out in 2012. Christopher Nolan has gone on record for saying many a times that he struggled with getting this film right, especially with the passing of Heath Ledger. He'd always intended, actually, for the Joker to have some kind of role in The Dark Knight Rises. So, obviously, that, meant that they had to spend a little bit of time figuring this out, which I think is why the gap from 2008 to 2012 is a little bit longer than 2005 to 2008. And I think that's just, they wanted to get this right. They wanted to do the series justice. And although I would place this as my third favourite out of the three, I am a Dark Knight Rises defender through and through. I think this is a great final entry to the trilogy. It gives us Tom Hardy as Bane. We actually finally get a proper Bane, not whatever on God's earth did they put in Batman and Robin, that weird wrestle man that just says Bane over and over and over again. It also gave us Anne Hathaway as Catwoman. Now, I actually think Michelle Pfeiffer is still kind of the best Catwoman. But I think Anne Hathaway does a really good job in that role, especially in a lot of the Selena Kyle, Bruce Wayne scenes. It also gives us Marion Cotillard. I probably butchered her name. As what turns out to be Talia al Ghul, the now daughter of Ra's al Ghul. Talia al Ghul is the daughter of Ra's al Ghul. Don't know why I said it like that. I don't know why I was questioning it. Obviously, as well, returning cast members: Morgan Freeman as Lucius Fox, Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon. We got Michael Caine as Alfred, Christian Bale as Batman Bruce Wayne. We also get Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Blake, or Robin, as we come to find out his real legal name is. So, again, don't want to get too caught up in The Dark Knight Rises as a film. I think it's a very good film. I think it's a very good entry into the Dark Knight trilogy, and a great way to wrap up the series. Now, picture quality, image quality. How does this compare against the Blu-ray? So, on Wednesday I talked about how the Imac sequences are a really big selling point to the Dark Knight. That's the case for the Dark Knight Rises as well. However, more of the Dark Knight Rises was shot on IMAX than the Dark Knight was. The Dark Knight's a 2.5 hour film. This is a 2 hour 45 minute film. There are a lot more IMAX sequences. The big thing comes from there are also a lot of IMAX sequences that cut between IMAX sequences and regular 2.1 aspect ratio. And it does that quite a lot. And if you're someone that finds that shift jarring, I think it's going to really annoy you in 4K. Because the IMAX stuff in 4K looks stunning. Whereas the regular stuff in 2.1 aspect ratio looks good. But it's not a huge jump from the Blu-ray to the 4K. So I think you're going to find it more annoying when it shifts. That being said, the IMAX sequences look great, and there are more of them in this film. So again, like The Dark Knight, this is a good reference just to show people, because there are loads and loads and loads of IMAX sequences. The opening one, for example, with the plane drop, wow, that is stunning because it's in daylight. There are loads of things popping, and the green of the grass on the ground, even like the blueness of the sky. That is a really, really stunning sequence. So with image quality, actually, this I think gets a slight bump over The Dark Knight just because there's more Imac sequences. So I'm going to give picture quality on Dark Knight Rises a 4.5 out of 5. Audio quality, again, they've given us this 5.1 theatrical DTS HD master audio track that was used in the cinema. Wow. Again, just like the other two, the audio is spectacular. Bane sounds awesome in the original theatrical audio, and it's really interesting because I remember when they did the prologue for The Dark Knight Rises and people struggled to hear and understand Bane's voice, and then when the film came out, it was a little bit different. It was tweaked. People could actually understand what he was saying. I've not heard it that good since seeing it in the cinema in 2012. And actually, this is the one out of the three. This is the one that I haven't seen in cinema since 2012. So, yeah, I was very jazzed about seeing this. I mean, I had the opportunity to see the 4K edition of The Dark Knight in cinema a couple of years ago. And tell a lie, I thought I hadn't seen this since 2012. I saw this in the cinema a couple of years ago when because these came out, I believe, about 4 years ago on 4K. And it was 2020, so it was in the midst of being in and out of lockdowns. And they put in the cinema that I have a membership to, Odeon, they put Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises back in cinema, and I actually took a friend who had never seen the films before, so it was her first experience of these films, and that was awesome, actually. I can't believe I forgot about that. It's just because I fairly recently just watched this all at home, and I'm blown away by it at home. So 4.5 for image quality, 5 out of 5 for audio. Special features. Again, I've got to look at me trusted Blu-ray. So special features, we've got, this is just a selection of some of them. It says there's over 3 hours of bonus features. You've got the Batmobile. Witness all 5 Batmobiles together for the first time in history. Dive deep into every aspect of the most awe-inspiring weapon in Batman's arsenal as you journey through the birth and evolution of his technological marvel and cultural icon. Ending the Night, a comprehensive look into how into how director Christopher Nolan and his production team made The Dark Knight Rises the epic conclusion to the Dark Knight legend, and much more is what it says on here. I will try my best to get a full list of special features into the description of each of these videos, just so you know what's there. It's really annoying because I'm not sure what I did with the J cards, which is why I don't know what's on these. But again, over 3 hours of special features. Everything that was on the Blu-ray has been ported over to the 4K. It's not on the 4K disc though, it's on the Blu-ray disc. I do believe, because the Blu-ray artwork is different on these editions, I do think there's been a slight improvement on the Blu-ray disc over the original releases. I could be wrong on that. I haven't really checked. When I compared the 4K to the Blu-rays, I made sure to do it with the original releases in case there was a improvement on the new ones. So packaging, again, we're following this lovely digibook style. So we've got Bane on the front there. Again, that really faint Bat logo that you probably cannot see on camera. Dark Knight Rises on the spine. Open it up. We have got the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray disc on there with an image of Batman standing on a GCPD car. Then we have got the Dark Knight Rises Prologue. And I believe, yeah, this is the one. Now, this is really interesting that they did this instead of the other two where it was about the film. This gives you a comic book version of the opening sequence. Not 100% sure why they did that. I know I have a DVD edition of The Dark Knight that comes packaged with a comic book version of the opening scene of The Dark Knight. So I'm wondering if that was something that The Dark Knight Rises had that they've just put into here. And then it just gives you some extras here. There's some concept art of applied scientists and Wayne Enterprises. It's just a few concept art images instead of any actual information about the film itself. There's a Bane concept art. You probably can't see a lot of this very well because there's a lot of picture-based stuff. And then there's a shot of Batman at the back there. And then we get the Blu-ray movie and special features disc. I do like that there you have the shot of Bane on top of the camo tumbler. And if we flip back to the start, we have a shot of Batman on the GCPD car, and that's from that, you know, iconic poster that they made where if you saw them together, they'd be looking at each other. I remember the posters for The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises being really creative. The Dark Knight used that Joker one where he's drawing in the window. So yeah, so overall, Dark Knight Rises, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. Great picture with those IMAX sequences, outstanding audio, great packaging, and obviously comes packed with special features. I mean, these are 3-disc editions of the films, so these are probably the most definitive editions of these films that you can get. So that rounds up the Dark Knight trilogy with Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. So Batman Begins, like 8.5 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10 for The Dark Knight, and 9 out of 10 for The Dark Knight Rises. Overall, really worth the pickup. You don't necessarily have to get these editions. I think these editions are the nicest ones, but you can get the regular editions. I did actually struggle to find The Dark Knight for a while. These two, Batman Begins and The Dark Knight Rises, were really easy to get. The Dark Knight I ended up getting off a seller on eBay for the retail price. So I was glad I did when I did, because otherwise that, I think, would be really hard to acquire. So that's the Dark Knight trilogy. Next week, I'm going to take a look at Batman vs. Superman, the Ultimate Edition, the single 4K disc release that has the IMAX aspect ratio. So that will be the last one in this Batman series in the run-up to the Batman. If you like this video, please give it a like and a comment and subscribe. Hit that bell icon to get notified of all future videos. And I'll see you next week for Batman vs. Superman.